G'day and welcome back to Built by Dan. I'm Dan and thanks for checking out my channel. If you're enjoying these episodes and would like to follow along as I build my first project car, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you don't miss future releases. In my last video, I provided some background on how I got to this position of building my first project car. But I did leave one small detail out, and that's which kit car we've decided to build and placed an order on. So, I won't leave you hanging for too much longer, let's get into this episode. Of the three cars that we narrowed our selection down to, being the Ultima, the Superlite Coupe and the GT40, I feel like the GT40 stands alone and that it's very much the classic race car supercar. It's the car that doesn't really need an introduction. On the other hand, the Ultima and SLC are both more the modern style supercar. Whilst the manufacturers may disagree, I consider them to be a very similar car with slightly different body styling. Both the Ultima and SLC can be fitted with affordable LS engines, well at least they seem to be the most popular engine choice, and can easily be tuned to make a high horsepower output. And in a small lightweight chassis, that's going to be a pretty quick proposition if you can get the power to the ground. So that's a very high level summary on my thoughts on each of the cars. And I can honestly say that I would have been happy to build any of them, but we had to choose one. And by we, I mean by partner Mon and I. Mon is keen to get involved in supporting the build as well as managing the socials behind the scenes. Now, for the details you've been waiting for. Ultimately, the kit that we chose to go with just made the most sense in terms of being locally designed, manufactured and supported here in Australia, providing that assurity that I can seek support throughout the build as I need it, and that I'll be able to register the car upon completion. So what did we choose, you ask? Well, it's none other than the iconic Ford GT40. Yes, that's right. We will be building a Ford GT40 replica kit car right here on this very channel, following every step of the build as I fumble my way through it. I first stumbled across the Ford GT40 at a young age and I instantly fell in love with it. In fact, the first time that I saw one, it was broken down on the side of the freeway, but that didn't deter me from being so obsessed with this car. At the time, I didn't understand the car's history. I just loved the car, its looks, the sound. It was just different to everything else that I'd seen or heard, and that's what I loved about it. So I did my research to find out what kits were available here in Australia, the different manufacturers, what the different specifications were for each of the kits. And I'll probably go into a bit more detail of that in a future video because that played a big part in us selecting which kit we actually went with. So I'd like to go into detail about why I chose the particular one that I did. I'll also go into a bit more detail about the final selection for the order that we've placed in terms of colour, engine, transmission, sort of the key things that that need to be selected when you are intending to place an order on a kit car like this. What I will say though is that the overall, I guess, look or design that we're going for is a modern take on a classic race car supercar. So that will encompass a modern lightweight chassis for improved handling, a modern drivetrain for reliability, but all packaged up within the classic styling of the original GT40 body and interior. I honestly feel that that approach is going to give us the best of both worlds. So, as I said earlier, in our next video, we'll be discussing what some of our considerations were and what our final selection was for the GT40 that we have on order. So please hit that subscribe button so you get notified when our next episode is released. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode for today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. If you like where this channel is heading, or if you have any feedback for me, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I look forward to having you tune in to the next episode and the rest of this build series.